the loop, man of God, pass the loop, man of God, pass the loop, man of God, and the Bible, it is true, pass the loop, man of God.
When you have a kingdom mindset, you realize that when God calls you to be a fisher of men, you don't get to change the bait that he wants to use. See, we build these systems and these traditions and we put God in a box and we say the only way people can be reached is if we reach them this way. But I've come to tell you that's a world system. But the kingdom system says, go ye therefore. It could be, watch this, that there's some things that you have not grown into or grown out of because you're operating in the wrong environment. There are some things that you should have grown into by now. And it's not God's fault. It's the fact that you refuse to change your environment. I remember when I was 21 years old, I was in Desert Storm at 21, and I was over there in Saudi Arabia. I'm baptizing folk, I'm ministering to folk, I'm preaching to folk every day, and look at how God worked. Some of the same people that were over there seeing me doing the baptizing and hearing me preach, some of them are members of this church. I was 21, that was almost 30 years ago. Some of them are members of this church today, and some of them are watching online today, just to see how God can hook things up. But when I got back to the States, James, at 21, a friend of mine, Brother Rick Franklin, he's also now a deacon in this church. He asked me, we're from the same hometown, he said, I heard that you're preaching now. I said to him, no, man, I'm good. I'm good on the preaching thing. That ain't me. I'm straight. I was just filling a void. But I ain't nobody's preacher. No. So watch this. When I came back to the States, I went back to my old environment. Faith is not something I live by only when something is wrong. Faith is something that I live by all the time. It is a lifestyle. Habakkuk says here that the just shall live by his faith. God help me to preach it right. Not your mother's faith, not your father's faith, not your sister's faith. Now, their faith will cover you for a season, but there's coming a point in your life where God is going to hold you accountable for living by your own faith. You can hear his voice and not open the door. How many times have you heard God knocking on the door of your heart and you didn't open the door? How many times have you heard, beyond a shadow of a doubt, God knocking at your heart and you say, I ain't ready yet. I don't want to give my life yet. I don't want to turn around yet. But you heard him knocking at your door. He says, anyone who hears my voice, he says, and opens the door. Did you hear that? He said, anyone that hears my voice and opens the door, which lets me know, watch this, God don't open the door, you do. You remember when Mary was visited by the angel, Gabriel visited Mary, told her she was going to be with child, and told her she was going to be with child. Mary said, how can this be since I know not a man? And the angel says to Mary, said, the Holy Spirit shall come over you. He shall do this thing for you. Watch what Mary did to give them permission. Mary said, let it be to me according to your word. Did you hear that? The angel said, this is what God wants to use you for, but he didn't do it until Mary gave permission. When Mary gave permission and said, let it be unto me, that was her faith giving him permission now to enter in. I need about 23 folk to just lift your hand to heaven and say, God, let it be unto me. Let it be unto me anything that you want to do. Change me from the inside out. Let it be, I give you permission. But we make decisions based off what we see, and we call it faith. Bring the chairs up here real quick. And I know those of you that are listening to this on the radio, you're not seeing this, but what I want you to see is I'm bringing two chairs up. Place them right there for me, Henry. What I have is two chairs. I have an adult chair. Thank you, sir. and I have a chair that we pulled from our nursery. I have a nursery seat. Pastor Noah, come here. I want you to help me with this. So I have an adult chair, and I have a chair that we pulled from the nursery, a significantly small chair. Pastor Noah, tell me very quickly, if you had your ability to choose from the onset, which chair would you choose? He's selecting the big chair. Why? Why would you choose the big chair? He said that one looked too small. The big chair looks big enough to hold your weight. So you have more faith in the big chair than the little chair because of the way this one looks. See, sometimes we have selected things because of the way they look, and they fail on us. They let us down. It looked real good. It looked like it was going to do everything we thought we wanted to do, but it let us down. I wish I had somebody. So sometimes, I'm almost where I'm going. So sometimes what God would do to make sure that he's giving you a kingdom shift, he will remove what he knows you have the propensity to choose based on how it looks. So now the only thing God will leave is this other chair. Pastor Noah, now all you got is this chair, brother. What you gonna do? He gonna sit down in the chair. Look, he's sitting in the small. No, sit back down. Don't sit, stay down there. He's sitting in the chair. Now watch this. Although he didn't think this chair would hold him up, when that was his only option, by faith. See, when God tell us to sit on something, thank you, sir. When God tell us to sit on something, it may not look like it can hold us up, but our responsibility is to stand on it. God's responsibility is to hold us up. I've come to tell somebody that God said what I provided you with is going to hold you up. It may not look like it's going to be enough, but it's going to hold you up. It may not look like enough money, but it's going to hold you up.